Today's sponsor is Kirin Beer. Kirin Beer. Unlock the power of legends with Kirin Beer, featuring the mythical Kirin right on the label. Rumor has it, this isn't just any drink, it's infused with the essence of the devil fruit. And if fortune smiles upon you, there's a 10% chance you'll awaken the power of the mythical Zoan Kirin ability with a sip. Feel the strength, embrace the legend, and rise to greatness, just like Saint Killingam. Who knows, with Kirin Beer on your hand, you might just be the next to join God's Knights. Experience the legend, taste the power. Kirin Beer. Alright, I'm kidding. That was all nonsense. Don't worry, I only accept sponsorship from things I genuinely want to share with you all. Now, let's get into today's topic. With the appearance of God's Knights, Oda-sensei has dropped countless hidden clues, and I'll be diving deep into them today with my own analysis. More importantly, let's talk about why Shanks was able to target the exact escort ship carrying the Hito Hito no Mi model Nika 30 years ago. There's deeper connection between Devil Fruit, Elbaph, and God's Knights, and we are going to break it all down. Alright, let's get started. Right now, the God's Knights are secretly working in Elbaph, and their goal is clear: to bring Elbaph under the control of the world government. It's likely they gained their current power by defeating Joy Boy, who wielded the power of Nika 800 years ago, but there's an interesting line written in Harley here. 人は太陽を殺し、神となった. People killed the sun and became a god. Notice it doesn't say 太陽の神, the sun god, but here simply the sun, 太陽. This suggests that what they killed wasn't just Joy Boy, who possesses the power of the sun god, but rather the very source of unlimited energy, the sun itself. Yeah, this is an energy that powered technology they themselves couldn't control. By destroying this energy source, the world government stripped humanity of its potential for progress, as Satan mentioned. And over the next 800 years, they've slowly been gathering the remaining power of the Great Kingdom for themselves. Among these powers are ancient weapons, and even the kingdom of Elbaph itself. When closely observing the God's Knights, their ability and uniforms show clear signs of originating from the Great Kingdom itself. Now, let's take a closer look at the two members of God's Knights who appeared recently, especially in the chapter 1140. On their arms, there's a distinct mark, a circle with the crossed bones, that strongly resemble a solar cross. Interestingly enough, this symbol frequently appears in the regions historically opposed to the world government. This sounds strange. For instance, the same mark was seen among the scrap metal in Wano, and even the crest of the Kozuki clan is likely based on solar cross. And Doflamingo relocated to a country that wasn't affiliated with the world government, and similar symbols were spotted there too. Kuma's Bible cover and clothing also bear the marks resembling the solar cross. Moreover, the sister from Florence, where the Trafalgar family, members of the D clan, wore a solar cross pendant. And the church in the Buccaneer clan, Kuma's church, similarly featured the solar cross. And when Luffy delivered the final blow to Kaido, the same design appeared again. And curiously, a similar symbol can even be found on the walls of Olst Castle in Elbaph. This solar cross immediately brings to mind a deity from Celtic mythology named Lu, a prominent god from Celtic lore. It's commonly depicted alongside a symbol very similar to this solar cross. He was known as a masterful warrior, particularly famed for wielding a legendary spear called Gaiacel, which never missed its target. Typically shown holding a spear, imaginary strongly reminiscent of Nika. Moreover, Lu held the title Lamfather, meaning long arm. This instantly reminds us of Luffy's signature attack, Gomu Gomu no pistol, where he stretches his arm. Given these parallels, it's reasonable to assume this symbol was primarily used by cultures or groups who worshipped Nika. Next, let's look closely at Shamrock's uniform. On the collar and sleeves, you can see an S-shaped pattern. This design appears frequently in countries known to have connection with the Great Kingdom, places like Elbaph, Shandora, and Wano Kuni. I believe Shamrock likely received this jacket directly from Harald. Yeah, in the chapter 1114, Somart asks Shamrock, Harald no hakamairi ka? Are you visiting Harald's grave? Generally, one visits a grave to honor someone who was personally significant, so it's reasonable to think Shamrock and Harald had a friendly relationship. Considering the abbeys remain within the throne room of Orst Castle, it's quite possible Shamrock previously visited Elbaph and interacted directly with Harald. Interestingly, the Mokomo dukedom had a cultural tradition of exchanging clothing with the close visitors as a symbol of friendship. Yeah, like Nami and Wanda. Given that girl also prepared human-sized clothing, Harald might similarly have gifted Shamrock a jacket adorned with a S-shaped design as a gesture of friendship. Moreover, the giant gatekeeper who saw Shamrock said, 見間違うはずがねえ。赤髪は何度もエルバフを訪れている。There's no mistaking it. Red Hair was visited Elbaph multiple times. Perhaps some of these supposed sightings of Red Hair was actually Shamrock himself, just as we've seen this time. 14 years ago, Harald was apparently killed by Loki during the battle, but I suspect the God's Knights may have also been involved in this battle. The reason I say this is due to the mysterious scars left behind in Orst Castle. I know, many people might assume these marks were caused by Loki's powers, Loki's devil fruit powers, but I'd like to suggest another possibility. Shamrock. The chapter 1138 revealed that Shamrock has ability to completely erase the presence, a skill similar to Shanks' special form of haki known as observation killing, Kenbun Goroshi in Japanese, as introduced in the volume 4 billion. Yeah, this was distributed in the film Red. Anyway, if Shamrock secretly joined this battle without Loki noticing, it would make perfect sense that these scars were inflicted by Shamrock's Saber's-powered saber. Shamrock likely cooperated with Harald to put Elbaph under the control of the world government. But Loki and Jarl intervened to stop their plan. However, after Loki killed Harald, the alliance with Elbaph collapsed, ultimately causing their entire scheme to fail. By the way, it was recently revealed that Harald's murder at the hand of Loki happened 40 years ago. Personally, I'm not sure if it was true. But now, do you remember what happened just 1 year after that? It was Shanks' attack on the world government escort ship. When that incident was first introduced in Shonen Jump, it was 12 years ago, but when the volume was after released, the timeline was adjusted to 30 years ago. This correction suggests that the timing is extremely important. And then, 1 year after that, I mean 12 years ago, Luffy ate that devil fruit, Hito Hito no Mi model Nika. At this point, it's no coincidence that Food Fruit is being heavily featured in the current cover story. Now, let's talk about something suspicious. The treasury vault in Orst Castle. By the time Luffy and his crew arrived, it was already empty. But what exactly was kept there before? I believe that 40 years ago, the Gomu Gomu no Mi, the Hito Hito no Mi model Nika, was still inside the vault. After King Harald's death, Orst Castle was left abandoned, and it's possible that someone stole the Gomu Gomu no Mi from the treasury and sold it on the black market. In the world of One Piece, devil fruit can be sold for the extremely high price. In fact, in the 30 years ago, around the same time, the Barrels pirate in the North Blue were trying to trade Ope Ope no Mi with world government. Even Blackbeard himself hesitates between selling Low's fruit, Ope Ope no Mi, or using it for his own gain. It's likely that the Gomu Gomu no Mi eventually ended up in the hand of the world government, leading to its transport under heavy security. And if that's the case, then Shanks may still have ties to the God's Knights at the time, which could explain how he gained access to the classified information that the fruit was being transported on the Food Fruit's escort ship. There's also a real possibility that the first person to take a Gomu Gomu no Mi out of Or's castle and into the sea was Gaban. When Dory appeared at Egghead, he said like this: この世は必然しかねえのにな. In this world, nothing happened by chance. At the same time that Shanks acquired the Gomu Gomu no Mi, Roshinante had just secured the Ope Ope no Mi, said something similar. ロー、お前は生かされているんだ. You're alive because fate willed it. Since the Roger Pirate knew everything about the world, it's possible that they understood how the Hito Hito no Mi model Nika would always find its way to the right person through the pull of fate. If that's true, then Japan may deliberately release the devil fruit Hito Hito no Mi model Nika from its confinement in Elbaph, setting it free so it could reach its designated owner. And eventually that owner was Luffy. This could also explain why Shanks entrusted the fate of the world to Luffy and why, after making that decision, he allowed the Sea King to take the mark on his arm, the symbol needed to pass through the abyss. I know, since this theory is popular, I figured to add it in. Anyway, now, let's take a closer look at the Killingam's ability. His power is most likely tied to his name, specifically the mythical Kirin. Unlike a winged dragon, the Kirin is the most of legendary creature with the features resembling a serpent-like dragon. I mentioned this in the previous video, but in kanji, winged dragons are written with a certain character, while serpent-like dragon uses a different one. Historically, in One Piece, the winged dragon symbolism tends to be associated with the world government, whereas the serpent-like dragon appears to be connected to faction that once belonged to the Great Kingdom. This is why Celestial Dragon's name often included the kanji for winged dragon, and it's also explained why they are so fond of the dragon on Punk Hazard. And looking at Soma's belt, it features the Celestial Dragon symbol, which is modeled after the dragon's foot. But here's the intriguing part. It has wings attached to it. This suggests that the Celestial Dragon are linked to the winged dragon species, further reinforcing the divide between the two types of dragons in One Piece. By the way, if you've ever been to Japan, you've probably seen the Kirin creatures without noticing it. That's because it appears on Kirin beer. Here. Kirin beer. This is a brand commonly found in the supermarket and convenience store in Japan. The Kirin is a legendary creature from a Chinese mythology with a dragon-like face and the tail of an ox and the hooves of a horse. In Chinese folklore, there are 4 divine beasts that guard the cardinal directions, but sometimes 5th beast, the Kirin, is added, forming the 5 gods or 5 beasts. First is Seiryu, azure dragon, and Suzaku, vermilion bird, Byakko, white tiger, Genbu, black turtles, and Kirin. One of these is the azure dragon Seiryu, which many of you already know. That's the power Kaido gained from the devil fruit. Kaido's mythical Dawn devil fruit was originally stored in the treasure chest during the God Valley incident, an event where the Celestial Dragon exterminated the native inhabitants. If we apply this same logic, there's a strong chance that the Kirin ability was also obtained through the similar extermination event led by the Celestial Dragon. Interestingly, there's a Celestial Dragon who closely resembles Killingham from the Rimoshiff family, similar in height and also covering his face with Shabon bubble. This raises 2 possibilities. Killingham himself may have been present during the event, God Valley incident, or Killingham's ability could have been inherited from his father. Because it passed 38 years, it's possible his Killingham's father obtained this devil fruit and he gave it to him. And another interesting detail about Killingham's awakened form is that his celestial robe, cloud, isn't black, but he has white one. So far, most world government affiliated characters in their awakened form has been shown with black robes, black clouds, while Luffy's Nika and Yamato's Okuchi no Makami, the guardian deity of Wano, have been depicted with white robes, white clouds. This raises the possibility that Zoan-type devil fruit may be classifications we still don't know about, and that these classifications could be deeply tied to the history. If that's the case, then the Kirin ability may originally belong to the Summer from the Great Kingdom. Or there's Nakama. Kaido's Azure Dragon form has also black cloud-like markings, but those are likely just fur or hair. This means that if he were to enter his fully awakened form, he might also develop a white celestial robe, just like Nika and Okuchi no Makami. There's also a chance that the other divine beasts, Suzaku, Byakko, Genbu, exist as devil fruit. If so, their original users may be people connected to the Great Kingdom. If these abilities appeared in the future, there'll definitely be something to keep an eye on. By the way, I couldn't help but feel that Killingam's silhouette looks similar. Then it hit me. It closely resembled the orb dragon from the Skypiea. And what's even more intriguing is that this dragon's eyes look exactly like Imu's. In the previous video, I proposed the theory about Gunko may have worked at Impel Down. The reason is simple. Gunko wears a military uniform, and something about the design reminds me of Domino. I believe Impel Down's may have originally been a facility belonging to the Great Kingdom. The blazing heat of level 4's Infernal Hell and freezing cold of level 5's Freezing Hell were likely once used for scientific experiments conducted by the Great Kingdom. Originally, this facility was located inland, but when 200 meters of the world sank beneath the ocean 800 years ago, it was likely submerged along with it. Impel Down sits at the center of the calm belt surrounded by countless sea kings. It's possible that these creatures were once ordered by their ancient ruler to guard this structure, Impel Down, which is why they continue to patrol its waters even now. A similar case would be Zunisha, who has been walking for 800 years, or the Sea Kings who had been waiting for the birth of the Mermaid Princess. And there are several clues that point to Impel Down being linked to the Great Kingdom. The upper part of prison features a symbol resembling a solar cross, and the walls are inscribed with the ancient text similar to the poneglyphs. Given this, it's almost certain that this facility was originally tied to the Great Kingdom. There's also strange hidden detail about Impel Down's emblem. It's designed using the letters I and D. This suggests that there was an intentional effort to erase the D from the history. Another strange detail about Impel Down is that its most important jailers dress up like demons, complete with devil wings and horns. Some of them even have a rather unique tastes. Considering that the Celestial Dragons views the clan as demons, it makes perfect sense that world government-aligned guards would dress up as the devils inside what was once a Great Kingdom facility. Adding to this, Magellan's signature technique is called Hydra. The poisonous dragon he created had wings, and the kanji used in the name of his technique is the same kanji used for winged dragon, the same kind associated with the celestial dragon's names. Most of you probably already know that in the Greek mythology, the Hydra was a serpent-like water monster with multiple heads, famously slain by Heracles as one of his 12 lovers. Yet in One Piece, the technique's kanji is linked to winged dragon, not serpents. This could suggest that Magellan himself has been influenced by the world government's manipulation of the dragon symbolism. Top of that, the symbol worn by the jailers looks strangely similar to the Somar's emblem. From all of this, it's clear that God's Knights have been systematically recovering the technology once used by the Great Kingdom. And if that's the case, then it's only natural the world government would eventually set their sights on Laugh-Tale as well. Shanks setting out to find One Piece immediately after confirming Luffy's awakening as a Nika could be seen as his way of presenting Luffy with a major challenge, much like what Japan did in recent chapters. However, it's also likely that Shanks is preparing for the inevitable showdown with the world government, knowing that they will try to stand in the Luffy's way. If that's the case, then we may see the fateful twin battle between Shanks and Shamrock near the final island. And that wraps up deep dive into Oda Sensei's Hidden Crew. Plus, on my page, I provide weekly Japanese breakdowns of the latest One Piece chapters, as well as in-depth analysis of Weaver Card and One Piece magazines. Lately, I've noticed a growing interest in accurate translations from the original Japanese version, so I'm currently working on the channel for those who want to learn Japanese. In fact, I recently recorded discussion videos with someone you might already know. And if you are interested, feel free to reach out to me via Instagram or email. I'd love to create a space where you can connect with Japan in a meaningful way. And of course, I'm available for Japanese translation and Japanese marketing. So if you want to do business using Japanese language, I'm looking forward to receiving messages from you. See you in the next video. お前ら知ってるか？杯を交わすと兄弟になれるんだ。今日から俺たちは兄弟だ。乾杯。